Kizer has to be one of the largest players in the import EDC knife game, and they drop quite a few knives each month, coming out with new models all the time, and some of those models, like the Drop Bear, really blow up and gain a huge following in the EDC world, gain evergreen status, and then Kizer really goes hog wild on giving us flavors, different styles of the handle materials and blade steels and such that we can choose from. Last year's breakout star had to be the Militaw. And when the first version, the full-size folder, blew up, and then came the mini, then came the fixed, and we got tons of flavors. And though that was their biggest success of 2024, I still hadn't reviewed one. But that changes today on Militaw Monday, as we review not one, but two Kizer Militaws. You're going to want to see what came in these boxes, so stick around. What's up, Kripple Krew? EDC with DBD, disabled but deadly. And yep, we're going to be looking at two Kizers today. This is Militaw Monday. We've got the mini Militaw. We've got the Militaw fixed blade. Finally bringing you some of that Militaw action. Before I do, stab that like button, like you mean it. /subscribe. I love to have you here. You're not going to miss all the dope knife and EDC content coming your way. We are getting close to 1,500 subscribers, and there's going to be an awesome giveaway. Bash that bell if you want notifications, because you don't want to miss any of the giveaway videos or the giveaway live stream. If you like what I'm doing here, it only costs a couple of bucks a month to become a member of Kripple Krew Inc. That gets you access to members-only content, as well as members-only giveaways. And it also really helps me bring in more products to show you, but that is completely up to you. One last favor, drop a comment below. Let me know what's in yo pockets. All right, we've got two knives to cover, so we're going to get into it. This is the Jonathan Styles designed Kizer Mini Militaw. And yes, I know you can see that this definitely can fit as your main EDC driver, but it's called the Mini Militaw because the first Militaw was definitely a full-size EDC, coming in at a full 8 inches overall with a 3.36 inch blade. So people really loved the Militaw when they got it in hand. These premium versions feature titanium with a titanium clip, titanium frame, titanium bolster lock, and then all of the Militaws have inlays, different inlay options, and Kizer does sell different inlays. So this happens to be the second iteration of the Militaw, the Mini Militaw. Folks wanted something that was a little smaller, less 8 inches overall, more EDC size. And this comes in right at that super schmedium size for me. What you're looking at, we're going to put it this way, is on all Mini Militaws, you're looking at a 6.7 inch overall length with a 2.82 inch blade, in this case of S45 VN steel. As you can see, it's a drop point blade, S45 VN steel. You are looking at handle length of 3.88 inches and a blade stock thickness on the Mini of only 98 thousandths. That is very thin and slicey. We do have a tall flat grind, and in this case a beautiful dark black wash, dark stone wash finish. And in this one you've got the dark titanium with the jungle wear carbon fiber, and I think that jungle wear looks beautiful in there. And this actually happens to be one of the lesser expensive of the premium mini Militaws, coming in at $169.95. They do go up to $180 for titanium and zirconium. There are different blade steels available. Like I said, this one is S45VN. S45VN is definitely a super steel. It is a powder metallurgy steel made by Crucible Industries. And it's going to get you a very good blend of toughness, corrosion resistance, and really good edge retention. It's going to be a fantastic EDC steel. However, mini Militaws actually start at like 54 bucks. You can get them with Nitro V, you can get them with all kinds of budget steels. G10 handles, Ultim handles. You can get inlays of Ultim, inlays that are clear, that look awesome. There is so many flavors of Militaw. So from $54 to $179.95, or Kizer has you covered. Couple of size comparisons. We're going to start with some Kizers. How about that drop bear we've been looking at? This one is the Toxic Storm carbon fiber and 20 CV. And we will look at the Cormorant. This one is the Serape edition. And as you can see, the mini Militaw is smaller than both of those. You know, a little bit smaller. Let's compare it to a couple of other of those like crossover super medium knives that I like. This is one of my favorites. This is the Devo Premium Pony Stout. As you can see, they're very similar in length. And this is one of my favorite fifth pocket knives. So you can use the Militaw as a fifth pocket knife, or like I said, as your main carry. Works as an EDC, as a gents carry, as your date night, whatever you're looking for, the Militaw's got you covered. And one more. Let's look at the Mini Nightshade. And the Mini Militaw is going to come in a little bit larger than the Mini Nightshade. So that's it for the size comparisons. Before we talk more about... we'll get into the action real quick before I can get over to the fixed blade. I'm going to give you the stats on the fixed blade, and then I'm going to talk about the overall design language of Militaw in general. So, on this version, we are rocking a, like I said, the bolster lock, whereas the budget versions are going to be liner locks, but they all have the beautiful cut out just like the original Militaw and that awesome front flipper. So the reason the front flipper works so well is Kizer did exactly what you should do for every front flipper. They did fine jimping that is rough enough to grab you but not going to chew your fingers up, but they continued that jimping all the way up and over the flipper, and in this case all the way to that tang of the blade down by the down near the lock face almost. And what that does is that makes it so easy to grab with your thumb, and it's so snappy. Listen to that detent. So snappy. Yes, it is reach around approved, and definitely not difficult at all with that jimping. You just got to have the angle and a grip on that pocket clip. Whoop, I didn't have the angle there. Come on. I said it's not hard, and then my hand cramps up. Pardon the knuckle crack right in the video. That's kind of rude. Very rude, actually. I apologize. Let's try one more time. And I don't know why the reach around is wanting to mess with me right now. But as you can see, we already did the reach around first try. That side finger flip is really where it's at. You can, if you want, whoop, as I hit the mat. You can, if you want, also bring it around in a slow roll, as you can with that thumb hole. You can do the pinch and roll. This is so snappy, you could probably do the 5-finger flick challenge with this thing. So I would say, whoop, my finger was in the way, but yes, you can if your finger stays out of the way. I would say that this is definitely very fidget friendly. Now, you want to make sure when you are closing it, if you're fidgeting with a non-finger safe lock, to make sure that you let that drop on your thumbnail, and then just shake it closed. Because if you have your thumb low on here, you can easily drop that blade right on your knuckle. So, action, fantastic. Now let's take a look at the full-size Militaw. Or not the full-size, but the fixed blade Militaw. And before I get into the specs, let's talk this sheath real quick because Kizer did this properly. I love that they did a taco style sheath on this, which means one piece of Kydex folded over instead of a pancake style sheath, which is two pieces of Kydex, which means you do have attachments on both sides, but it also makes it much, much taller. Makes it take up a lot more room on your belt, makes it heavier, and it also makes it much harder to drop in your pocket. The nice thing is, this is so slim that with an ulti clip or something similar, you could actually drop this right in your pocket. But they include this nice slim Tech-Lock style that allows you to carry it. It's currently set up to carry vertically, but I would definitely switch that around and carry this horizontally on my belt, because this would actually make a decent appendix carry with the handle in front of your belt, or scout carry in the small of your back vertically, because it's going to disappear along your belt line then, especially with that thin taco sheath. I'm so glad they did this. They did it on the Kizer Muskrat. Made me so happy. And then the Kizer Hair came out and it had a big old pancake sheath. Anyway, let's get to the specifications on the Jonathan Styles designed Militaw fixed blade. We are looking at an overall length of 8.18 inches, a blade length of 3.83 inches, again a drop point. In this case, it is Nitro V. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention on the S45VN, it is at an HRC of 61 to 63. That is a great heat treatment on S45VN and is going to provide superior edge retention. So this Nitro V is coming in at 60 to 61 HRC. We have a handle length of 4.35 inches and a blade stock thickness of 140 thousandths. So a nice, decently, it's thicker than the standard 120 thousandths of a, folder that, pretty common range, but without being too thick. And then, again, we have a decently tall flat grind, right? Let me grab a card real quick. Make sure I'm not feeling a little bit of curve in that. No, that's a flat grind. Okay. It just gets decently thin for a fixed blade. We have a decent sharpening tool. Definitely could be better here. I want to point that out. This is this plunge grind takes a while to end. They could have terminated that plunge grind back here and gave you a lot more sharpening life. But being a fixed blade, you could always make that a little bit deeper and get you some more sharpening life on that. Nitro V steel is going to be a very tough steel and very corrosion resistant, while providing decent edge retention and a pretty easy resharpenability. So it's very similar to 14C28N. Let's do a couple of quick size comparisons. My only Kizer fixed blade, currently in my back pocket, is my Kizer Muskrat. I love this knife. And as you can see, it's no comparison. This is much more of almost an outdoor. This is like that crossover between EDC, outdoor, It'd be a great camp kitchen knife. Let's compare it to a couple other. How about the Kubi Dust Devil? As you can see, it's quite a bit larger than the Dust Devil. Now let's look at some knives that are more comparable, like the Civivi Elementum fixed blade. And we are coming in at a very similar length. And this is a knife that I've carried on my belt extensively. It's my first real fixed blade, good quality fixed blade. And this thing has been carried horizontally on my belt so many times. This has been in front of my belt buckle on both sides, depending on what else is on my belt. This has been on the back of my belt. This is a great size because it, like the slim lines of the Militaw, it disappears along the blade, along the belt. However, the Militaw is going to carry even better with the better sheath. Two more. Let's look at the Tack Knives, the Marlin, and that's almost the exact same size. And the last one is the Damn Designs Finrear Fixie, which is going to be rather larger than the Militaw. A little bit longer. Woo! So pokey. Oh, about a ½ inch longer and way more presence overall. So, let's talk about ergos. And we're going to bring both knives back out. But actually, let's do a quick hardware check on this bad boy. We are looking at a T8 everywhere except for your main screw. You know, it's not a pivot on this, but your main screw is a T10. These pop out and are easily replaceable. And I love that they did T8 screws on that, so you're not stripping them when you're changing these out. It's wide enough and contoured so that it's comfortable in hand. And in this grip back here behind the blade, I've got quite a bit of room. So I wear an extra large size glove, and if you've got even a little bit bigger hands, you're going to have room. You do have a lanyard hole if you want. This is big enough, you don't need it. And Kizer was nice enough to give you jimping all around this knife. You've got a lot under here, making it easy to lock in on this jimping back here in a saber grip and have a lot of reach with that blade. You can choke up a bit behind the edge to get some more strength behind cuts. Or you've got this spot out here that works really good in a pinch grip to give you more controlled, more precise cuts. You can do some drag style cuts to open packages. You can use that tip for real fine work. I really like that. The neutral ergos on both allow you to turn them around to cut straps or something. Your beef jerky Avenger grip is great, and you've got some jimping on the end here to lock in. I've got plenty of room. I have no worries about sliding up on that blade in if there's any beef jerky juice. And a beef jerky Defender grip, I still have, I feel that jimping locking me in, and I have a lot of room between my hand and that blade. Let's check it out on the Mini Militaw, which gives us some jimping here. I do have enough room behind that pivot for a full 4-finger hammer-fisted grip. And I can use that jimping right there to put some strength behind cuts in a saber grip. This flat spot here and the lack of a flipper tab allow you to really get up on that right behind that edge for a nice cut. Pinch grip, phenomenal. It's the size of it just works. I can pinch it here, or I can throw my middle finger right under there, put my thumb on the blade, and really have some control of that tip. turning it around to cut straps or something works well. If I'm in a beef jerky Avenger grip, I'm locked off. I don't feel any worries about sliding on that titanium. And a beef jerky Defender grip is even better because I'm locked on that pocket clip. And even though it looks like I'm close to that blade, I don't feel like I'm going to slide. Now, if I were to have my choice in a beef jerky defense scenario, I'm taking the fixed blade all day long, but you use what you got. So part of the popularity of this design is its simple, elegant lines and just easy ergos. It makes a great package in the pocket. So slim. Mostly deep carry on the premium with a non-reversible pocket clip, Militaw pocket clip. However, on the budget versions, I believe you get a deep carry clip, and I don't know if it's reversible. I can actually take a look real quick. I was focused on the premium because that's what I have here, but I'm going to pull up a budget one real quick. Yes, it does have a deep carry clip, and it is still right hand only. Tip up as the gods intended. Deep carry on the budget, Militaw on the premium. Now, your fixed blade, those range in price between, let me get that one up, $55.95 for D2. This version is just under $68 with the beautiful micarta. And the micarta and G10 are contoured. And other than the difference in texture of materials, you wouldn't know the transitions. It's done well. On this, you really can't feel it. And let's see. Yes, our titanium and carbon fiber are also contoured. So a lot of the little things were hit right on these knives, and that's led to a massive surge in availability of different flavors because of the popularity. T8 everywhere. Good job, Kizer, even on the hardened steel lock bar insert. Great job on the hardware on both of these. So you get a very simple but elegant drop point design with usable belly, a nice flat edge to use, but then a really nice precise tip on any model of Militaw. I really don't think you can go wrong whether you're going budget or premium. Oh, there is also a premium version of the fixed blade, and that one comes in S45VN. So you're going to get S45VN, black PVD, S45VN, black titanium, and fat carbon copper foil carbon fiber. Beautiful, beautiful knife. So there's budget and premium flavors of all three Militaws. If you've been tuned into the EDC community, you know there is a ton of flavors. You can get what you want. There's maybe too many flavors, but it allows you to customize and make your Militaw exactly the way you want. Let's do some slicing real quick. Check these out. These have been part of the Lefty Pass Around group, so we'll see how these edges are holding up. I'm a bit down the list on this one. These have been to quite a few reviewers before me. And the fixed blade, even with the thicker blade stock, very slicey. And then, as you can see, whoop, I caught the choil. Ooh, no, it seems like there is definitely a spot on this that needs to be touched up. Now, I know this S45 came sharp, but these have been in the pass around group for quite a while, and it looks like this blade has been through some testing. So this is going to need a touch up for sure. But I can tell you, I know Kizers edges come screaming sharp. And whether you get a budget or a premium version, you're going to have a fantastic knife and a fantastic experience. I'd like to know your thoughts on these two knives and the regular Militaw. Which is your favorite of the three? Do you prefer the budgets? Do you prefer the premiums? Do you think there's just too many Militaws and you just can't? Either way, let me know. Stay tuned for that 1,500 subscriber giveaway. Don't forget, we will be live tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, just like every Tuesday. And we have 10 knives that came in the last week to look at on tomorrow's live. Until then, stay safe, stay frosty, but most importantly, stay deadly.